Okay, so that's the comparisons, and then if you go back to Schedule D, basically what we just reviewed is all on here. If you guys want to kind of look that over and see if you have any questions. Our final, the bottom dollar is, it comes out to $244.15 per daily, or monthly unit, sorry, monthly unit. I went back and reviewed what we were paid as they were bouncing around with the 250, 10% throughout the last year, you know, the reduction. And I believe I saw 3 different rates that we were paid throughout the course of the year. And then it's my understanding from what we've been told is this 244, some of it will be paid back at that, because at one point they figured out they shouldn't have taken that 2.5 out. And then, like I said, there's 3 different rates. So some of it will be paid at 244, some of it will be paid at 2.5% less than 244 to make up for the 2.5% they took out of the rate we were charging. You follow me? Good.
Like they come in and cut it 2.5%, and then later didn't they put it back?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is I'm not going to sit here and say anything. Every unit we serve is going to be paid back at the difference.
So when did the next one is going to reflect part of the year at the monthly rate and part of it at the 15
No,
minutes?
it started July 1st.
So they did get it, so it started on good.
Yeah, we started billing at the 1 to 15 minute unit July 1st.
So there was a time when they were going to do it in October, and then it moved again, and so at least it will be consistent.
And this is something we recently learned, I believe, since last time I talked to you guys. We got an email that says, not only now are we billing at 1 to 15 minutes, but we are billing per day. So when we sit down and fill out our billing sheet per person, it has to go in there per day, however many units there were per day. So on a busy month, say an assessment month, you might have, out of, let's say, 23 working days, you might have 40 billable units. So on each day, if you have 5 units one day, 10 units the next, for say the first, you put in that day, how many units. You go to the next day you have available, you put in that day, how many units. So on and so on. It's going to take forever to bill at the end of the month. None of us were very happy to see that. So that will be a new experience. The end, let's see, November I think is when we start that.
Which is a federal forced requirement, so as the state says.
But I don't know why they just figured that out, because we just got this information last week, I think I got the email. And Deb Eckerman was trying to get clarification on whether that included case management, and Don Buchan said, yes, definitely. Don Buchan from IME, he said, yep, anybody providing Medicaid services.
Well, why does it make any difference? They made the big deal about doing 15-minute increments, so why does it matter what you had in a day?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
The light came on, I think I know, the light came on that now going down to the 15-minute thing, it might cost them more money than if they would have left it alone at a monthly charge, and which we've been telling them for years.
That's how it's played out for us so far.
And so they thought they were, and it's, in one way it's okay because it's a fee for service and you're paying for what you're actually using. On the other hand, some of those monthly charges were a bargain.
Exactly. The month that we do the assessments, you know, we charge them a flat fee.
And you got no more for the month that you were actively servicing those clients than you did, or any less on a month that you didn't hardly have to see them. So one thought, it's fee for service, so that's a good thing. and they thought they were going to save money at it, and everyone else said, no, you're probably not, and now it's going to end up costing them more money. That's my opinion.
I agree. That $244 monthly rate could easily be $1,500 on an assessment month, depending on what's involved in getting the 30-page assessment done.
And if you had a client that had a lot of requirements, that monthly rate probably was a bargain. Mm-hmm. And now that's gone.
Mm-hmm. So that's all I have for the cost report, unless you have any questions. Then I just had one other thing that I wanted to mention. I do need the chair to sign this, and it's basically just acknowledging that we reviewed it, and if you just want to sign.
I make the motion for the chair to sign our cost report.
I'll second that. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the cost report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Cost report's approved. Statement right up here.
You can just sign down there at the bottom.
Right down here.
Yeah, anywhere in there. I went to the CPC state meeting last week, the tail end of the week, and one of the things they talked about, and they'll review it again at fall school, was the priorities that the CPC set to work with legislators on. And basically, well, the big one is give us our money back. I mean, that's the one they're really pushing. And they're saying, you know, it costs us this much to do it. We're saying it's still going to cost us this much to do it, and you give us this much less, give it back. So that's the biggest one. And then another one that I thought was kind of interesting is evidently this is an issue all over the state, and they are working with legislators to clear up the whole advocate. Is it court? Is it county? Is it court? Is it county? Who's going to take care of it? And they're going to work with the legislators to say one or the other. This is not working, to split it in half.
And who's pushing that forward? Because as part of our resolutions committee, I really pushed that, mm-hmm. and it didn't make the top 10 of the whole ISAC priorities, which 3 out of 5 of our 5 things did, mm-hmm. 4 out of the 5 things. And so I expressed my disappointment in that advocate one not being in the top 10. Uh-huh. But the CPCs are behind it.
The CPC, Lori Elam is who sits on the ISAC board for the CPCs. And she's the one that gave the report. She and another gal, and I don't know her name yet. I don't remember everybody's name yet, but like I said, she's the one that sits on the board, and she and whoever worked with her.
I recognize that name.
Yeah. So I guess, and the way they explained it, whatever list they had, the piece about the funding is not adequate, and then the advocate figure out who's responsible for what and make it uniform. However big the list was that they had, that made it into their top 10, the CPC's top 10.
Well, I'm sure it did in theirs.
Yeah. So those were the 2 main ones that they were really pushing this year. So
the supervisor's proposal was that first that the state take care of it and supervise it, which isn't going to happen. And the second proposal was that because we're paying the bill anyway, that we would supervise it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the way the CPCs did it. They would just as soon have the courts supervise and take care of all of it, supervise and pay.
Which, that's going to cost more money, mm-hmm. and so to the state. And so then as a second proposal, if we're paying for it anyway with no supervision, our suggestion was that we supervise it.
Mm-hmm. Which only makes sense, so. Okay. Did you guys get your invitation for the stakeholders meeting tonight?
For tonight?
Mm-hmm. I emailed it up.
You did?
I don't think it's...
I haven't got anything on my email as of last night.
I think it was last week and asked it to be printed.
I sent that up there.
Did you? Maybe it's on one of our desks.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I haven't seen it. I've got a landfill.
It's at 6 tonight. We're having a presenter, and she's going to come and talk about microboards. And what that is, it's like a small group of maybe friends, family, members of the community that helps people with disabilities organize their services.
What time is that?
6 o'clock. And then we'll just have a regular meeting after that, so. Okay, that's all I have.
I would move to adjourn.
Thank you.
All stay. Aye. I'm gonna have a conflict, so I probably won't be there.
Okay.
I think